this case will clearly show, leave you absolutely no doubt, that Mr. Holder killed Ermias Ascadon and injured Terry Lincoln and Sherline Williams. There'd be no doubt about that. You're going to hear and see evidence that he had plenty of opportunity to think about what he was going to do before he did it, and did. And I make that point because we have charged not just murder, but premeditated and deliberate murder. The difference between premeditated and deliberate murder and murder will be argued at the end of the case. March 31st, 2019, at about 3:20 in the afternoon, there was an explosion of violence. At that place and at that time, the world lost Ermias Joseph Ascadon, better known to the world as Nipsey Hussle. Mr. Ascadon was a father, he was a son, he was a brother, he was a successful artist, an entrepreneur, he was beloved in his neighborhood, he was respected, and he was just 33 years old. There was a conversation between Mr. Holder and Mr. Ascadon minutes before Mr. Holder shot and killed Mr. Ascadon. And you will hear from at least two different witnesses that conversation had something to do with snitching. Now, I know you're all familiar with the word snitch and the concept of snitching, but you may not be familiar with how volatile that subject is within gang life. If a gang member is considered a snitch, it's a whole lot different from being considered a snitch by your little brother or your little sister. There's a range of consequences for people who snitch, but no gang member wants to be considered a snitch. It is highly offensive to any gang member to even be suggested that he is a snitch. But he was there when the shooting happened, and what Mr. Lathan is able to tell you is that he's just sitting there leaning back against a car when he hears you're through, and he looks over and sees muzzle flash. He walks along the sidewalk in front of the businesses until he gets to the two cars where these gentlemen are. And no sooner than he walks between the cars, he pulls out not one but two guns, and he starts shooting. He starts shooting in this very tight, confined space where there are four people. And he strikes three of the four people. Nipsey Hussle struck almost immediately. And you'll hear about one of his injuries transected his spine, severed his spinal cord. And when you see him drop, he almost drops like dead weight, and he's never able